Man, can you hear me, Mr. Guilty?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear, man.
Hey, man, man, hey, man, I was vibing with that, man. You need to kick that back on. Diamonds, like forever, like loyalty, baby. That's what we on right now. So, but hey, thank you for bringing me on. I'm elated. Words really can't really describe how I'm feeling right now. Only because I know where we're going with this. I know your architectural leadership, and because I know you're a builder, man. You're a builder of people. You're a builder of life. And 360 degrees, man. So I'm just happy to be back on. As you said, we started on this journey many 10 plus years ago, man, and I have not regretted not one single thing. I've learned so much from you, from all the leaders we've had the opportunity, to be in front of and previous projects and everything. So it's all coming full circle. So I'm really, really happy. As Mr. Guilty told you, I'm currently still in the banking industry, have been in the banking industry 20 plus years, and I've been around a lot of the things that this company is embarking on to make the average person a part of, as far as, stocks, bonds, tradings, EFTs, Bitcoin, all this other stuff. This is the stuff that I've watched develop and I've watched people get wealthy. But the interesting part about it is that the average person just never either had the know-how or had the support on showing them how to do it. So, even though it's something that, I've always had in my portfolio, but I'm excited for the first time that, I'm going to have an opportunity, to just play on the same level playing field as some of the billionaires in life right now. So, I don't know if y'all are really excited or y'all really truly really understand where we're getting ready to go with this, but we about to, a lot of companies talk about it, a lot of teams, have a dream about it, but we're actually going to do it. We're going to change families' financial legacy. So just get on board, get hyped about it. I know I am, and hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to rock.
And I appreciate that. And you know what I mean? We're gonna have real talk here, gentlemen. It's not no sellathon. This is just real talk with some
Yes,
gentlemen,
sir.
you know. And I appreciate that, Mr. Brooks. As you look at this collage, we not doing the typical marketing. We have four pillars of marketing right now with what we do. A few good men is starting to come together now with this new platform because we have a CEO. You can see at the bottom right, down at the bottom, Mr. Edwin Haynes. And you see him and I together. You know, he has a spirit for the people too. So I thought it was a great platform for me to really and us to really solidify a few good men. What does that mean? A few good men means that it's a bunch of males out here. And sometimes they don't even understand what it means to be a man, a king, an emperor, a god in the presence and have dominion over the earth. And we need to stop putting all that pressure on all these women who have a lot of us was raised by. I was raised by a mother who was married 4 times. We're having some real talk tonight. So I watched that. I was a part of that. I no longer have my mom. And then my father and I, had some dialogue right before he passed and left me with a lot of responsibility. So a lot of households around the world, not just nationwide, have communities where women have to be on the front line. And it doesn't take a whole bunch of males. It takes a few good men to help establish a foundation because the women are very important to what we do with our children, to what we do with our living legacy, to what we do with just our community of people for what they bring to our families, what they bring to the relationships. But a lot of men have been dependent because they was brought up by their moms. I had to break away from my mom. My mom and I had to break some ties when we were in the beauty industry together. I'm just having a real talk with you how it came up in my mind because we have some pillars that I'll talk about later. But tonight we're celebrating the men that get on here tonight and understand that you're not alone. That I don't want to mess with your kingdom. I want to add to your territory. And we're going to build a community and we're going to utilize access as a way for us to build income. but the community comes first to build that confidence, to be around some other men who want to do whatever it takes to establish their way in the marketplace, to get that dominion over the earth, to be around other like-minded individuals without feeling judged, without feeling, because right now I'm gonna tell you, gentlemen, if you have that quality of understanding, absorbing the feminine nature of your side, you're gonna make more money because you're able to understand the women in our society, the biggest consumers in the world, but they're also the biggest entrepreneurs in the world, especially in our community. And they're starting to get jobs that Black men especially can't get. So I just want to make that connection as you look at all of the men and see what we're doing. I have 3 sons, 2 biological. One is just my son by spirit. And I take responsibility for it. I don't believe in step nothing. Only thing I think about as a step is I'm walking up to the next level in life. So that is my son too. But biologically, that's what I do. So we're gonna go to the next stage and we're gonna talk about what we're doing here with Access. And before I get going, I heard from Mr. Brooks, because I don't know how much time this gentleman has. I got a chance to, this gentleman is going through a lot. He works for Delta Airlines, right? And we got a chance he flew into Chicago for just one day. He's gonna bring his son because we had a men's event here a couple of weeks ago, and his job is pulling on him. But now he understands that he needs to do his job, but work a part-time opportunity to give him more time with his children and more time for himself. Because he said, man, today he sent me some words like, man, fuel and bad attitudes is taking up my day. Mr. Nate Williams, when you talk about personalization, I was very honored to have you at dinner table with the president and the vice president of this company having dinner with you, knowing that you had posture, you can relate with these gentlemen, and we had a nice business conversation, and we can laugh together as men. What that you see, we're not being a typical network marketing company, even though you have a relationship with an angel of a being, Miss Deanna Jackson, with this community. I wanted you to see it for yourself. What made you start looking at it for yourself so you can be a part of A Few Good Men?
One of the biggest opportunities that I seen was, speaking back to Miss Jackson. She was already involved with the team, and I seen me being able to go to one of the conferences with you with the team and actually just being there, just being a guest, and looking at that was eye changing. I started to see that I can get on board with an actual building of a community. That's something that was different for me. And network marketing can be impersonal sometimes. You don't really care about anything that the next person is doing. So you just say, hey, I just want the next person on my trail, and build and keep going from there. And then actually finally getting the chance to actually just talk and meet with you and actually speak and get on some terms and see that we have some things that will definitely parallel. So biggest thing for me right now is, we throw out this word generational wealth. My biggest commodity to me is time. Time is one of the biggest commodities that we have. You're closer to tomorrow than you were yesterday or 5 minutes ago, even more. So the biggest thing that I was saying for me, I need to find something that I can get my time back. Yes, don't get me wrong. I love working for Delta. I love, the things that I've been able to do with it. I've been able to grow and experiment with a lot of things in my own growth and leadership and career. However, I don't want to be working for someone forever. That's just the plain truth about it. And I want to make sure that my kids have me in the long run. I have time for my family, build my relationship, and build the future. And I believe that being able to leverage something like Access could help in doing so. And being able to build an actual community with the team that we have here generated is awesome. Building the fact of also the other portion of it too, the idea that when Mr. Guilty, you threw out to me, building this whole program of, A Few Good Men, that even perked me up even more because we do just got a whole bunch of males out there, just sitting up there walking around, not having no responsibilities, tainting the black male image, honestly. And I'm raising my sons to be opposite of that. And to be able to say, hey, here is an example that you can have. Here is a group of men that are actually taking about action about business, family, have core values, and that we're striving for, and to be leaders and pillars of the community. Here is some inspiration that you can look to, not just what you see on the grams and YouTube and things of that nature. You have to, it starts right here. This is exactly where it starts. This is exactly where you can actually build those examples at. And this is how you can actually broaden that out and build that out. Because, I'm, walking around, you can walk around with your dick in your hand and say like, hey, I'm a dude. I'm a handle my business. It don't work that way. You need to be able to handle your business. And right here, having this group, you can actually pull the resources together, bounce ideas off each other, be able to do a form of each one teach one. This is how it happens. This is how our community builds. And so I'm hoping that I have an idea that we can actually build this out, and we can actually be the forefront of a lot of things and within our own community. And it starts just like this. So all you need is a few good men to start it.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I text you. I made sure I text 4 people to make sure they can get on, and you were one of them, man. I appreciate you, to speak on this platform, Mr. Siobhan Brooks. I can't wait till you guys meet one another, because he's a music head too, man. Like, this dude knows lyrics like you do, Brooks. When you meet this gentleman, you're gonna love him, bro. He knows music, man. I'm telling you, we was at the thing. I was like, what? So I'm just letting you know what we have here. So what I'm gonna do also, listen, let me break some things down. We're building a community that a lot of men, that are busy, don't have a lot of time for social media. I'm not talking about the women, but for us, I may do something to stop like, because I want to stay on top of the information, because I know it's just a database that you utilize for a lifestyle. But I want to be the same person when you meet me off of the gram, off of the book, off of the talk. So I want to be legitimate in whatever I do when I present myself on that high tech. So when I come into a position of high touch, we can have a plan now. When you meet me, you see it's the same person, right? So a lot of us are not tech savvy. Then we have, like, the women have their own, Facebook page. They have a WhatsApp chat. Man, I can barely get some of the dudes in the past to be able to just respond on a text message over WhatsApp. Why? It's a lot of pride and ego with the men, because we don't trust everybody with our kingdom. I'm not here to disrupt it. I'm here to make sure they put you on the mantle. Before they put you on the mantle, we work together. I'm not saying you can't do without me, but just at least I'm in tune to what's necessary for you to see your generational wealth, for you to see a living legacy, right? I'm in the midst of that, man. Like, spending time with my 15-year-old, and I'll come back to that this weekend. It just keeps uplifting my spirit. And when I meet young men and young women in the marketplace, I just want to be that beacon of light to say, you're special. You have something, what environment you're in, you have something. So how do we do that? I don't want to be a part of a company. I don't want to be a part of no community that after we get through having this dialogue, that you don't give me something that we can make some income with. I don't care. I don't want to be a motivational speaker. And then after you get off the line, I can't take that same energy and I got to go back to work with it. No. Give me a vehicle on top of the information that we're working together as a community. So no matter what you're doing, I don't care what background you're from, we're not going to talk to you about quitting your job. As you see, Mr. Nate Williams, you see the Delta logo in the background. He's in his office. Mr. Siobhan Brooks is all the way in Arizona. He's 2 hours ahead of it, and he's in some nice weather. Weather can get on my nerve because, he in that good old weather. and I'm gonna say something smart before the end of the thing, but we have so many people in different places that you can be able to make a phone call. A community is about making a phone call from any part of our environment to make things happen, get some results. But we're going to utilize this vehicle because why? Access Academy. I'm going to tell you right now, gentlemen, they have travel license. They just launched it on our training this past Saturday to show us what's available. You don't get paid to be a travel agent. You don't get paid because what they did was they took out their, so we can start beating and have a competitive edge in the marketplace. I'm having real talk with you. They took out the commission for us and added as a concierge piece to us to save on travel at wholesale prices. So it'd be worth your monthly overhead when you pay your monthly investment. They took the commission out so we can get the best prices in the marketplace. Watch what happens with that. I love that idea. They launched it yesterday. It's still some things that they're working on. And it was very transparent. We're trying to make sure that for all those people who are very sticklers on how things are spelled and this is working, no, they're not going to have airfare on it. You can still go to Southwest and all that, but they're going to have all your lodging and then your lifestyle. It's going to be a lifestyle with our travel, and you can write that off because you have a business. One of the major things that I want to talk about is Access IQ. In most of our community, Black, brown, tan, and even the Caucasian community, right? I want you to think about this. But I got to get back to our community. We're starting to be transparent about mental illness, about people not being able to cope with what's going on. In this access group, and I want you to think about the word access. We want you to look it up. Yes, it's spelled different, but how many people have the access to the information of a community and a business opportunity so we can work together to build some funds up so we can work on our living legacy. So you got to have a mental fortitude, especially as a man, because of what's going on. It can mess with your psyche. It can mess with your confidence when you know the women in our communities, they'll put them in a position to make more money than you. You got to come home to that. It's not that you're jealous of the money. It's the mentality they put behind the money that they have more control because they make more money. That's on purpose in a lot of communities. And I want to speak upon that because I got a chance after 26 years being in the beauty industry. I was blessed to have some of the most major CEOs and executives in my chair. I don't want to name drop and all that, but I'm going to tell you two major ones. Every 2 weeks, I cut the person who put the team together for the menus of McDonald's through all the US and in China. We had conversations every 2 weeks about business. Even though I was in network marketing, he did that. First, he's called it the pyramid scheme. By the time we had conversation and he saw my name of Team Exposure saying, boom, building, owning, operating, maximizing your business. Do you know, he said, wait a minute, hold on, bro. We have the same mindset with McDonald's franchises. We're owner operators. So they got to learn the fries and the front desk and the fries and the burgers. It's different stations. And if you don't believe me, go look at the movie about McDonald's. If somebody remember the movie, you know, how the McDonald brother got taken over by this gentleman who had a bigger idea about them, put it in the chat. We watched that as a group as to do research of everybody knowing their strength, right? So I'm telling you, and then my second person, he worked for GE. And he talked to me and he wouldn't let nobody cut his hair. He was a corporate officer with GE. There wasn't too many people. I cut his hair before he did a cover with Essence Magazine. It's not bragging. It's about the information about, can you make a phone call? I can still make that phone call. He was in my phone. I lost a lot of my database. But the Access IQ is going to give you, say you having a rough day. And you know people who have challenges in life. If they don't have the confidence, they can't talk about a business. If they can't get over their environment at home, and they're the leader of their home, but they get pulled on from so many different directions, and they're not getting fed. Yes, they can pray, they can sit in silence and meditate, but they also have to have some community to give them a word and say, come on with me, let's lock arms, because I see what you're going through. You don't even have to explain. With Access IQ, they gave you that lock arm. That's one of the reasons why I joined this platform, because you can go in there and answer 10 questions with this platform, and you get to, they're gonna choose over 450 videos personalized for you in that moment, not for the day. You ever feel crappy in the beginning of the day, man, and by the end of the night, because you did something significant, you felt good, you came home, walked in the door on your warm, right? You made something happen, you got some results, but waking up that morning, you was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I gotta come up with something. And you made it happen. Was your attitude different? So what if you had access going to that job, going to your business, whatever you have to do to fill you up mentally and spiritually, because this is a spiritual journey, right? And then you made the results happen. What is your attitude going back home to that environment? That's what Access IQ is doing for me. It's more than the travel. It's more than the NFTs. We're gonna do NFTs. We're gonna do metaverse. We're working on that. They have travel for the lifestyle. Yes, we have a great compensation plan built on the community. But I want you gentlemen to know why we choose an access. The word, how many people have looked at the word access? Next slide. I want to keep talking to you. I'm not going to be before you long. It's already 8:18, right? I'm going to be off here before, hopefully 9:50. What I want you to understand, how many of you with high tech and high touch can find 3 people that believe in you right now? And it's not a hit on your ego. You've tried to talk to them about, if you ever tried network marketing, some people don't want to try again because you tried all these things, but that's where the confidence should come in. Some people haven't tried anything, are miserable. You just trusted a different environment with your time that didn't come out right. But is that the only thing that has disappointed your life? Is nothing outside of network marketing disappointed your life that makes you think, oh, I can't do this because of one of those things? You ain't never been fired. Are you still working the first job you ever had? No, right? Are you still with the same woman since you was, let me see, old enough to know what you thinking, to think you know what you're doing, man? Don't come at me with that. You know, I'm gonna stick to this thing because you've gotten jobs before. You've been in other relationships before. They were lessons to you. You didn't fail. When you learned something about that woman that you didn't like, you found out what you did like. So the next time you got a relationship, you're like, woman, I know what I like now. I got my feelings hurt in the last one. I know what I like now. You've been fired before. I know Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks was top 5 of Bank of America. We're going to talk about it. They said you making too much money when 9/11 happened. Why did he still put his resume out there? Because that's what society told him. But something in his spirit said, I need to do something extra. That's why he trusted me all this year. Mr. Brooks didn't have his father in his household either. No people's environment. Why am I talking about this? Because we can have 3 people that we can have some natural conversation about a community and then business. And then those 3 people start to build, and you have at least 10 people in your organization as we move forward. You're gonna get a $400 bonus. That's just 3 and 10. So we're changing the language for this company right now. They don't even see it coming. But I do the hard work. That's why I have people in place to allow me to help cultivate this company. I'm direct to a company finally after 17 years. So I'm talking to them about what people, everyday people, who 98% of people in this company do this part-time. I don't know no numbers. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. Watch this. How many on this people on this webinar right now have a job? Do this part-time and you will need an extra income to get some weekly support to pay bills. And if you bill 3, that's gonna give you that weekly pay. When you start going to what we're talking about right here, 10 people from the 3 people that you work together as a community, as partnership, not upline, downline. I don't believe in no upline, downline. I believe in partnerships. And you collaborate with that person, and I help guide the partnerships like I'm the top CEO, and it's you guys are all, you could be an LLCs or you can be S Corps in this organization of Guilty Enterprises. And we're gonna have counsel, and we're gonna make sure we relate to everybody's background. But when you have 3 people direct to you, now if I sign somebody up direct to me, we just found this out with this compensation plan, and I place them underneath, you still got to go out and get 3 personals. But after that, those 3 personals build into 10. I don't care if you're paying like 167, I think it's the lowest, or 179 at the lowest. Let's say 210 every month, up to 290 for all the access. I want you to subtract 400 from 290. An extra $100 a month, what would that do for you? That's just a residual of a community. But I want you to think about, what if you brought a person in every week? And it's not dependent upon where you join, it's dependent on where they join, where you can get from $225 all the way down to $25 for somebody joining that week. And then if you show your team how to do the same thing, it's duplicatable. You at work, but they're in the community, and you have arranged every day of the month to make $225 down to, I think, $25. From depending on where they join, what they can afford at the time. But guess what? You will get paid when people upgrade from bronze to silver to VIP, as long as they're doing it 60 days. So now you have people that's going to upgrade because they're going to see more access to the information with our trading, with our metaverse, with our travel of lifestyle. So it's no pressure. It's just the mindset of the psychology of the business. We're giving people to come in because we don't, especially with this community, we don't count your dollars. Y'all gonna be bougie and say y'all don't know about layaway men. You ain't never did layaway for your kids or your wife. You ain't lay away a necklace, a bracelet, a charm. Come on, man. Don't act like you ain't been in a situation where you need some time to pay for something. It's the same thing with this. If you had 60 days to go from 339 to 1,000, and then you get information that can pay for your upgrade, is it worth it? As we go to the next slide, I just want to give you a conscious interrupt for a few minutes, man. I had some videos, but I got a new computer and I got to figure some stuff out. So you get paid, watch this, you get paid for weekly income. What I want to master with this team, with this community, that we put you with a natural conversation, that we put you, start filling in those groups with men, any woman you know that are married, have children, are not married, have children. You get with the CEO moms. You get to leverage what they're doing with lifestyle. They're showing women how to work out, get themselves back, and all of that. Then you get the leverage of living legacy, leading ladies. You at your job, you know women like this. You know women that are married with kids, without kids, and they need, and especially ones that's not married, they may need a little bit more support, not because of their income, but because of the kids and their time. Then you have women that don't have children, but spend a lot of their time doing stuff for their family. They may be the person that went to college making the income that everybody pulls on. We got that example in our community. And you get to leverage it and put them in a free access and build your database like Instagram and all these major corporations. They get paid not just because of the money. Understand business. They get paid because they're giving people the information to help them buy into their system. Right? So you got the 3 tiers of the weekly income. Then as you go, that's the 3, we call it 3 and agree, not the company, that's us. We call it 3 and agree. When 2 or more agree, if you want to get spiritual, what happens? When 2 or more agree. It's another concept when 3 something in my name. I'm not a scholar on that. I feel the scriptures, Brooks, you can say it if you want to. You know, some of the people that know all the scriptures, I don't have to recite the scriptures, I live in my principles. Okay. So next thing, on top of you making weekly income, on top of hitting a rank where you get 10 people, we don't want you to stop there. You can get another check because those 10 people paid their monthly subscription to keep themselves in business. They'll give you another check right here. No matter what position they're in, with bronze, silver, or VIP. You add $30 to some of this stuff. I want the exact numbers. They only show certain things on the presentation. But when we come to our group, I want you to know from the least you have to pay to the most you have to pay. Then I'm gonna have a game plan. Go to the next slide. We're gonna have a game plan. Or I don't care who you talk to about business. I don't want you to talk to them about access. I want you to I desire for you to put them in, men, and utilize the women who's doing the work. They outwork y'all butt right now. Okay? Leverage it. Leverage the community of what we have of our 4 pillars. But we need to take responsibility for ours. So silver, VIP, thank you. All right? It's more access. The more you pay, the more access you get. These are our 4 pillars. Watch this. Leading ladies, you see Miss Kamaya and Miss Elaine Harris. 2 different personalities, but they have a foundation of the lifestyle. That means they don't have children. They've both been engaged before, and they're the matriarchs of the family. People come to them because they've had some experience of making income, right? So because they have some experience of making income and make some income with us or in a 9-to-5, they were able to do stuff for the family that do the status quo. Let's just have real talk. You see me in the middle point like this. Thank you, Ms. Alicia, for all this. I want you to understand what we're doing. Watch this. Then you have the CEO mom. Watch this. This is how sweet this is. That's women that are married or not married but have children. Once again, I watched my mother be married 4 times. But I'm bridging the gap so those women don't compete against each other because they have different responsibilities. I don't want a mom talking to a leading lady saying, well, you just don't understand because you ain't got no children. Well, you may not understand because you're not taking care of your father. Why do we have that separation? That's society doing something to our community. Once again, why not celebrate both of those entities? And gentlemen, if you run into women that you're working with and you don't get the link from them so you can leverage that. Somebody texted me at almost 10 o'clock last night and said, I love that CEO Mom Facebook platform. Is that right? You don't say. I talked to 2 women that joined both CEO Mom. I'm working on my leading lady. I'm gonna outdo the women on it. Yeah, I said it. Y'all can tell them if y'all want to. Some men tell tales on men, but I'm just saying. And then we have leading ladies. Understand what that means. How many of you men know? How many daughters do you have? How many nieces do you have? Go back. How many nieces do you have? Cousins that don't have children, but you see that it factor in them. That's what those ladies represent. Then you have CEO moms. How many married women do you know that got to get rid of excuses because you ever heard a woman say, you know, if they lost themselves and don't work out no more, take care of themselves, they say, well, you know, this baby fat and the baby is 15. Oh, shucks. Man, go. I'm just saying, we are responsible of helping those women get themselves back, bro. Like say, hey, baby, I'm not judging, but they ask you to come to you and say, "How look at this outfit?" And you be like, you look nice. If your voice changes, they know you lie. I'm just letting y'all know, man. Women, 26 years was in my chair. I got more info from women. Women got more game than men, dog. I'm trying to tell y'all, don't mess with me because I learned from women. They the biggest ones in the group in the world right now. I'm just letting you know. So you get a chance to get your woman in the group where they're gonna see some women exercising. Both groups exercise, learning the language, understanding this, and connecting with each other instead of judging one another. See, y'all think women get dressed for y'all? You ignorant if you think that. Women get dressed for other women. They get their toes done and nails done because they see, oh, did you see her nails? Ain't no man looking at a woman's nail because he missing one nail. And if you see it, I bet you ain't gonna say nothing. Right? I mean, men, be real with me. I'm giving you something with women because they educated me. Every week in my salon, somebody was on their cycle. I had to figure out who was going to be ill and they couldn't finish their clientele. I'm like, oh Lord. She came and she came to work with a full book and didn't know Mother Nature was coming. Now I gotta come up with a solution. You gotta be able to relate to the biggest consumers and business owners in our communities in the world. And that's not statewide, gentlemen. That's global. That's global. Then with a few good men, they tired of y'all. They tired of these Negroes out here lying and don't have a plan. And it goes back to Jim Crow. It does. I don't be marching and all that, all that. This is my march. What did Jim Crow say? I'm gonna show you how to control your slaves, and it still happens to this day. Watch what I ask you this, gentlemen. What did they do when they came to the slave's house? They beat the man in front of the family. What did the mother do? The mother grabbed the son and protected her. And then she talked to the daughter and said, I'm going to make sure you're so independent that if this happened to you, you can still take care of yourself. So you show the daughter how to take care of herself, but you make the little boy dependent on the woman. Look at the community and tell me if I'm messed up. And we put all this pressure on our women to allow them to be on the front line, gentlemen, and you comfortable with that? I've talked to men, next slide, who told me, man, I'm straight, my mother not want to make more money than me. I didn't say be insecure because she does, but you are comfortable. Listen here. In my last relationship, because women expenses is more expensive than cutting her hair, I made it up. Network marketing, me building a community made up for the money I didn't make behind the check. Come on, bro. I don't lose like that. I don't care. I want her to make money. Take pressure off me, less I gotta give. You did? But I want to make my own. I ain't gonna sit back like that. If you go through a season, that's okay, men. But don't get comfortable allowing them to be on the front line because they're gonna lose respect. That's another call. Strategies, man. Marketing. What I want to do with this community is show you natural conversation. You don't have to recruit nobody. Get rid of the word recruit. I want you to put that recruit word on a piece of paper. We call it the burning board we did you release everything you don't want to transpire in 2023. It's gonna be another full moon. I'm not all in, astrology. I don't know everything, but I know this. You can have your burning bowl every day. Whatever you want to release. I don't care if you go outside and get away from the family. Fear, doubt, trust with David Guilty. I never want you to recruit. I want you to get rid of recruiting. You never have to recruit if you build a natural conversation. Think about it. Somebody's open. I'm muted. You never have to recruit somebody that you find out what's important to their children or to their pets or to their loved ones. You just got to find a solution. Social media. We have people on this team, different tiers. We don't have no man that studies high tech with this team. If you know it, we don't talk about it because we're too busy. Like I told women, this is what I tell women. If you got a dude going back and forth with you, arguing with you on social media, and you go on a date with him, you get what you get. I ain't got time to be going back and forth arguing with a woman on social daggone media about no comment. I don't give a damn what it is. I don't have time to be going back and forth all day. If you got a dude doing that, he a sissy. I'm going to say it. I ain't holding my tongue. I ain't saying sissy in the sense of liking whatever gender. I'm saying that you acting like a woman. And that's WHOAMAN, woman. Stop acting like, don't be around. Man, come on. You going back and forth and liking and all that stuff. You think a real woman, WOMAN, respect that? They be mad. They might be mad because they got in a conversation and an argument, and you didn't go in there and like it and make a comment. You didn't like my post. Woman, I ain't got time to like your post, and I want to like your living legacy. Virtual and live events, high tech, high touch. How to build your brand. I'm giving you a plan to leverage while you're working, man. I do this full time, man. I wake up to this, I go to bed to this. I wake up to this, I go to bed to this. I wake up to this and I go to bed to this. I was in business for 26 years. I've done real estate. I've talked to some of the major people in Chicago and abroad about business. My track record. We talk about resumes. My uncle was a Rhodes Scholar. He was in Congress. I learned the game with media presence. I learned the game with corporations who had underlying laws. It's not bragging. That's just my resume. I cut WJYS. Joseph Stroud. Remember the channel before cable had all the church people on? I went to his house personally, and he couldn't stand some of the churches that broadcasted on his channel. Joseph Stroud. I don't even know if he's living. Once a month, twice a month. I had to cut his son hair one week, every 2 weeks, and then the second week I would cut his hair. And he gave me some juice about them churches and doing business. Who are you partnering with? Next slide. Men. I've been studying y'all. I want to know how many women was raised by their dad. How many men was raised by their dad on this chat? I want you to put it in there. Watch this. Just watch. It's 43. Okay. Oh yeah, 43. How many men was raised by their dads and their moms? Put in the chat. I don't ask chat stuff. I hate that stuff. Put in the chat the alphabet. Put in the chat. Put in the chat. I ain't doing that. But I'm gonna ask you. How many men was raised by their dad? I wasn't. I know Mr. Nate Williams wasn't. I know Mr. Siobhan Brooks wasn't. So as we move forward and we talk about 4X real quick, because it's 8:41. My dude on here also, who's also working his living legacy, Mr. Wardell Jones. And Mr. Wardell Jones worked for another major corporation here in Chicago, developed some sites in underprivileged or deprived places in Chicago, Whole Foods. And ran the stores. And I think he did Hyde Park too for everybody in Chicago. And just like Mr. Brooks, they said to him, "Nigga, we don't need you no more." And his talent for looking at IPOs and scanning items on the shelves and all that, he looked at the numbers and he had somebody else face, if anybody know about facing, pulling the products up with the labels in front so it looks more attractive. See, I know about that. I was working Jewel too. Nobody know that. I was the best face in the world, goddammit. Mr. Wardell, you're fighting to get back to those charts. But what you can do with those charts or what we can do with these men, I'm going to challenge you. I don't care what time. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. to start putting some information or making entries and exits on our Boom University page. But you've been in other network marketing companies. You've been on other teams. Why is this team and where we are right now gives you not hope? We don't do hope. We don't say if. No, we can say if. We don't say try. We don't say but. Why do you have more belief in our partnership? Even though you direct to Miss Elaine Harris, what does it mean to you to be direct and you and I can collaborate, knowing we have sons, your background, knowing what they did to you, and knowing that they didn't see the value that we see in you. This dude is going to make money in trading, bro. What does that mean, Mr. Wardell Jones?
Oh, it means the world, Mr. Guilty. As you were just talking, there's a book that I'm reading called Copycat Marketing, and it talks about how from the very beginning, early stages as a baby, we're copycatting, and we learn that, and as we grow, whether we're copycatting the right things or the wrong things, we're still copycatting. And the one thing you talked about being in other companies, and you get to a point where, and I saw this, and what's different about this community is that there's so much nonsense going on in other places. People are only out for themselves. They only care about getting what they can get. But I told, and I know we talked about this before, the first time that I came to a meeting for this team and this community, I felt the difference. I saw the difference. And what I saw then, which was over 7 years ago, is still true today, where you as a leader, other leaders on this team care. It's to the point where you almost care more about other people being successful than yourself. And you do more for other people, and we see it on a regular basis. And that's the thing, that's the drawing point, what drew me in the very beginning and the reason why I'm still here.
So why do you think some people take that for granted if they know that? Like, real talk, man, like this is all balls out, brothers. Why do you think people take that for granted? The information I give, why people move slow, man? Why did you move slow, bro? Be transparent. What made you take your time and now we're here now. But what made you take your time and you realize that you need to move a little, get a little closer to what we do?
Yeah, because of what we're trained to do from an early age. You know, I saw my dad get up, or saw my mom and dad get up and go to work every day. And even though I always wanted to do something more outside of just having a job, but that's what I knew. That's what I saw. That's what I learned. And that's the thing that, you know, for men, you know, we're taught to go to school to get a good job. We're not taught to go to school to learn wealth building principles and learn how to run a business. We go to school to get a job. And that's the thing that, you know, that draws and that pulls on us. You know, the same thing when I was let go, there was a in the back of my mind, let me go find another job. So I was battling, you know, I had on this shoulder, go find another job, run my business. And which one do we allow to pull us? And so that's the thing that, you know, I think that why people, you know, it takes a little more time sometimes.
Man, I love that, man. And what I'm gonna do, I don't even care about no more slides. I need people to trust the community, man. I'm gonna make money. I've made money, lost money, part time, man. Like you won't even believe, like, you know, you said, nigga, we made. Yeah, you know, for a second you think you make it when you make 181,000 network marketing, still making 50, 60,000 cutting hair. And because the only reason why I went lower, because I put more time into this. So that was over 200,000 in 1 year doing what I love to do. I would do this for free to connect with people. Thank all of you gentlemen. I'm gonna really quick. I see Lanny Jones. I see Mr. Joe. I see Corin. I'm gonna see what men want to sell real quick. You have 30 seconds to a minute because we're gonna do some closeout. I see Mr. Derek Baxter. What have you learning tonight about what you want to do to step up and help this community, man? Jason Hodge. I see my man TD is still on here, man. When I tell you I met Mr. TD, we instantly got a connection because he lost his mom. I lost mine. He's a guest on here. And I met his wife, and his wife looked out for me. I'm a global elite member at the Hyatt right now. I'm here. A lot of y'all don't know, man. My house caught on fire, electrical fire. A week later, and you gotta let go. So I said, well, you know, they get the fire, I could still refinance, keep my father's house. I paid my father's house off with network marketing in 3 years because I was making bread, man. He had $90,000 still in the house. He thought he left me enough money in the insurance. He thought he left me 500,000. I probably won't be on the phone with y'all if he left there for real. I'm just being real with you. You could get left 500, a half a million. What would you be? You know what I'm saying? So the creator said, nope, you're going to get it right. You're the next level. You're the chosen one. So I wound up getting less than 40 grand, but the house was 90 and I had outstanding bills. I owe Bank of America. I own for my car. So with network marketing, because of my mindset and how I built like my salons, I started paying and learning from my mom, paying the principal for my dad's house once he left me. And I'm the youngest. I'm not even the oldest son. My father left me, my oldest brother's named after my father. So when you're chosen, you got to accept it. All of you men on here, you're going to suffer if you know you have responsibility and you ain't accepting your position and your living legacy, you're going to suffer in your next generation's will. Somebody else will be chosen and you won't see it. I'm going to be real with you. I had to accept it. You don't think Malcolm, Martin, Jesus, all these great men who walked the earth, don't like that. Do y'all know that Malcolm said, just listen to Dr. Anderson. Claude Anderson, man, it was an interview that Malcolm realized he thought he left his people astray by not getting economic power. And Mr. Claude Anderson, Power Economics. Miss Elaine loves that book. Some more people starting to get it. She was one of the first people I saw with the book when I came to her crib from her daddy. Her dad's real strong, right? That's what she was brought up in. That's why she got all that attitude sometimes, right? But he said, in order to get past the laws of society with all the stuff we have behind it, they had great ideas, but they never had economic power. They marched, they punched their fists. That doesn't bring you money. I'm not against that. But why did Asians and Black Lives Matter get more money than us? Think about it. Why did the Asians get more money doing Black Lives Matter? Because we don't have an economic threat to that society, because we don't have enough men helping run it and then feeding the women who outnumber us in the marketplace. You can't be intimidated because there's more of them. That's the way they was born. That's the way they was bred. Leverage it. Leverage it. Anybody really quick. Jason Hodge, Lanny Jones, you got a couple minutes. Mr. Joe Lewis, man, you've been with me for a while. You got one of the sharpest daughters I've met. I want to make sure she in there, and his significant sharp. And we're gonna get him to leverage and watch what happens. Anybody want to say something real quick before we close out? Any guests too? TD? Anybody want to open their mic, say something real quick? Because I want to say something, because we got to go into our bunker session after this, and it's not about presentation, it's about real talk. Anybody?
Mr. Gill, this is Lanny.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say thank you for this platform that you have right here for the men, because it's something that we definitely need. I know me, I never had a community of men that would, collaborate and show you how to do something, that is necessary for your living legacy, for the community. None of that. Yes, I understand how to do something illegal. That's a given. I grew up in that environment. That's what I know. That's what I knew. But to do something like this, where it's legal and you can actually, help your community, your families, yourself, and become what you're supposed to be as a man and as an example for men, because that has been taken from us a long time, when they made all the mandates to bring down the black man, so that he couldn't be the king over his family or his community. They knew that if a man understood who he is, he would have that power to do whatever it is that he wanted to do and succeed at it. So they had to stop that, and so the only thing that we were able to do in our communities was to create something that we could do to take care of ourselves and our people, but knowing that it was illegal. But I'm grateful. I want you to know I'm grateful for this, because our men need this for today. We need this. Our men need the power back in our communities and our economic environments. We need this. And so that's all that, this is why it's important to me. This is why I keep staying and being around, you and, other leaders. I'm appreciative to the women too, because, they giving us something to strive for. You understand what I'm saying? So that we see their examples, and we need to be that. We need to go beyond that and be what we're supposed to be. And this is why I love what we do here.
Thank you. Anybody else real quick? I don't care who it is as a man. Say something, man.
Brother Guilty, Joe Lewis here. How you doing?
Man, I'm great, man. I'm
Great,
guilty.
great. I just want to say, over the years, I've watched this movie called The Wizard of Oz. And in that Wizard of Oz movie, Dorothy was trying to get to Emerald City, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they told her, follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road. She followed the yellow brick road until she almost got there, saw the Emerald City, jumped off the yellow brick road, and didn't make it to the Emerald City. It wasn't for divine help, she would never have made it. So you've given us a yellow brick road to follow. And that's what I love. If we all just stay on the road that's already been shown to us, that's been designed for us, we all can make it to the Emerald City. So just want to thank you for what you've done for us, and hope everyone decides to join us. Thanks.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Joe. I call him Big Show Joe. He used to play college football, man. He was receiving his daughter bad. Played college. I knew his daughter before him. She used to come to my salon in Oldbrook, man. That's crazy. And then we're connected right now. That's crazy. And then his grandsons are football players. One got a scholarship in high school from a college. That's talent. I'm just, oh my God. Anybody else real quick? Because I know Brooks is chomping at the bit to close out a few seconds. Nathan, I know you out. You want to say nothing, Floyd? Playboy Floyd?
Yes, sir. Mr. Guilty, appreciate your leadership. And I think that to have a group of men together, it just sensitizes all of us and helps us know that we have a right and we have an opportunity to take advantage of empowering ourselves. And that this platform that we are now fortunate to be a part of can just elevate us to a new level, not just in our homes, but our entire community. So thank you so much.
Man, thank you. In and out. Love that. Anybody else really quick? Step up to the
Yeah,
mic.
Mr. Guilty,
Yes, sir.
this is John Baxter.
Mhm.
We
Nice forehead.
we have to understand that this is bigger than money. I'm probably a little older than most of you that's on here and have seen quite a few things come and go. But the only thing that we can really, really count on is what we are willing to sacrifice for the generation behind us. And if we don't sacrifice,
Uh-oh. You went out, Mr. Baxter.
this is a wonderful start for a group of men that have known each other for a good while, a long time. And each one of us can talk about separate monies that we made, but you really don't have a solid foundation until you can unify. And I feel that the conversation that you are having with us and the ones that are participating will create a foundation that will be so solid until when it comes to movements or accomplishments, we can do it in unison. We don't have to do it as individuals. So that's a powerful situation to be in. And we appreciate you.
I receive that. I'm gonna see it with the actions behind that for real, man. Cause I pushing y'all. I got a whole state to build a community in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So anybody that on this call tonight, we will establish that. You know, Mr. Baxter's been in a long time, been in other companies. His son Derek Baxter's joined with him, so they got a living legacy there. But I'm gonna need my man Derek, you know, do his thing, man, to give you more life. We need you around, bro. Mr. Eddie Lynch, man, that's my dude out there in Arizona. You got any words real quick, man? You on here, bro? That's my. Y'all ever saw what's that, Blue Suede? The devil in the blue dress? Who said, man, you told me, he said, you asked me to come here, man, I shoot people. That's Mr. Eddie Lynch. Mr. Eddie Lynch. Hey, bro, you got some words, man. I am effort it. But he devil in the blue dress, man. We're gonna keep moving because we gotta keep going. Anybody else really quick?
Mr. Guilty.
Yes, sir. I told y'all. That's my devil with the blue dress. Now, to mess with Mr. Guilty, he gonna bring that
Hey.
cat out, baby.
Hey man, once you bring that blue dress thing up, you know I got to say something. Hey man, I definitely appreciate what you're doing. I've been the wife been tuning me in here lately on you guys meetings. I sure appreciate what you're doing, man. I sure appreciate you looking after the wife and everything. And hey man, the appreciation is here, you know. And anytime you feel like come back to Arizona, say I got my slingshot running, man. So come on back and let's ride.
Y'all hear that, man? It takes a real man to trust me with his wife.
Yes, it does.
It takes a real dude because he know I never disrespect him from the beginning. I rolled up at his crib, man. This dude was in shape, truck driver in his tank top, coming to his house to meet with his wife, man. This dude was rocked up. I was like, okay, bro, I see you. But that's where the respect came in. And then before he snapped off in the situation, he came to me first and said, if the only reason why I did the devil in blue dress on this dude, because of you, Mr. Guilty. And that's respect because he's my senior, but he trusted me with his wife and with his life because he could have did some stuff that cost him his time. So thank you for that, Mr. Eddie Lynch. Hey, anybody else real quick, because I know Brooks else into my guests, you know, I'm gonna have them close out really quick because we're gonna jump over. You can stay on, man, because I'm gonna talk some stuff about the company with the bunker, the section. I got bunker section too. Go ahead. Anybody real quick or no? All right. I don't like waiting too long, man. I was that kid. Let me tell y'all why I don't like waiting. I was the kid with me and my brother. My father would say, I'm coming to get you. My mother would leave and go to her favorite tavern. My mother never drink or smoke, but you give my mother some ginger ale and a tavern and some music, she would dance all night. My mother would leave on purpose. So my father would never have an excuse for not picking me up. And this is why Uncle Remus is so important to me in Chinese food. When my father didn't show up, after my mother got through dancing, only twice, I fell asleep and waiting for my father to pick us up. I got so good with it, gentlemen, that I knew the different lights on different cars when they hit the building to see if it was my father when he showed up. I fell asleep with my head. I had a groove in my head. As a little boy, I said, I'll never do that again. I didn't even understand till now. So I got older. My brother kept doing it. But I never did with my father when he said he was gonna pick us up. My mother would call us 9:30, 10 o'clock when he said he's gonna pick us up at 5. I'm being transparent. Baby, y'all still there? Yep, hear the music. Okay, what y'all want? Uncle Remus, Chinese food. And we got a chance to pick, man. And my mother would come back home with one of those two, man. And so I'm telling you guys, I can relate to anybody who had their mother and not their father, or you may not have either one of those parents. My mother was the most nurturing person, either because I was the youngest, but because I was the more responsible, she gave my brother more attention. So that was another thing for me. I don't care about telling y'all that. It don't make me weak. It makes me stronger because I'm able to be transparent and you're not. Whoever can't be transparent and look at that as a lesson in life, you're losing because you're not healing your inner child. The people that can't heal the inner child and stop making excuses for the hurt and the pain that your parents caused upon you, you can't get closer to your God. You can't. You can't get closer to your God until you heal your inner child, man. So I forgave my dad. But when he came to me at 33 years young, years later, tried to blame my mother, he said, I'm still mad at your mother. because she took y'all away from me. I said, "Don't, you're not gonna do that to me, bro. My older brother may go for that because he's Sylvester Guilty Jr." I said, "My mother left and you never showed up. You should have saw his face." But that's why he left me in the house and left me in charge of the house. And I'm going through some stuff challenges right now because that Negro left me the goddamn house. Because I always get the challenges. Ever since I was a little boy, I got the challenges. I never was able to be a kid. So that's why I laugh a lot. You're gonna hear me laughing a lot. I'm healing my inner child so I can give the water of success. I can pour it back into the universe. Mr. Brooks, I know you're chomping at the bit. Go ahead, bro. What you want to say close?
Ain't much I can say after that. Let's get it done. Let's go get it done, gentlemen. We have all the tools. We got the community. Let's just put it in the ground. Let's go get it. You know, don't quit. Don't quit on yourself. Don't quit on anything. Just grind it. Let's grind it out. And because I mean, we've all put in the work somewhere, somehow in our lives. You know, we have nothing to lose on this. So let's go all 10 toes in and let's go get it done. Let's do it. Let's do it for our legacies, do it for our families, do it for ourselves. Because like I said, we got the blueprint. Now all we got to do is just do the work.
Man, I appreciate it. I'm gonna play a song for a couple minutes, man. It's called Purpose. And then I'm gonna go into a dialogue that the men can stay on, and then the women gonna start jumping on. Cause they you know, that's what they do. I'm gonna just want to play this song. I want you to listen to this, man. Real quick. And then we're gonna go right into that. I know people that get off. The game is on, the Packers and Detroit on. As I know some of y'all teams lost. You know what I mean? Let me see here. I appreciate everybody getting on tonight. Whoever had to jump off, you have, you know, just jump off, man. I'm not mad about that. The creator he's supplying. He's supplying. That's all I can say. Here it is, right here.
Here we go. Word to boss, a lot of people out here just wasting space. They're just out here. Well, I don't know, I can't understand it. Yeah, you right there, I'm saying, what are you here for? Hey, yo, pick up the phone. Yeah, I'm getting mad calls. And I'm saying, though, I'm not really all that large. I'm just hungry, really. I need to get put on. Did you put me on? Put me on. You know what I'm saying? I got something I want to do. Listen to me. Hey, yo, you're not listening.
Hey, yo.
Trying to wake you up. I know what I'm here for. I'm to resurrect microphones. Do my things.
Purpose.
I want to do.
Y'all I know I know that music. This y'all.
I've got to.
Yeah, I know I knew that part right there. Yeah, I just missed the more mature gentleman up with my music, man. My father got all kind of stuff in the base. Anyway, we getting ready to shift. The women gonna start coming on, man. I'm gonna unbutton the jacket. I'm gonna get Cruz out. You might want to take notes on this because we have to look at it. So there's certain things that people that's plugging in that as we go into these trading platforms, I put it in our chat. A lot of y'all not in the chat. Please be updated with the chat. Please be updated with the Boom page. It's for a reason. All the gentlemen on here, all the people on here that don't understand high tech, you're not leveraging. You don't have to be perfect at it. You can learn the basics and then get your family involved so you can leverage the community to make money. See, if you really understand that, you have children, nieces and nephews and you don't know how to leverage the people that's in a different generation than you. That's marketing. You think McDonald's, everybody knew about McDonald's a long time ago, but the new kids still eat the McDonald's, man. It's marketing. They don't even taste the same. I was there when they had the cardboard boxes and stuff, man, with the Big Mac. You dig what I'm saying? Like, come on, y'all. So this is what I'm talking about. People was on the webinar on Saturday. When you see people in our discords and educators, I put this in the chat. I'm not saying this. You're going to disrupt. This is what I want you to think about. Somebody in your team, and everybody has a chance to make money. It's not about that, and you got to do what I do and wait for me to make it. But when you don't wait for the leadership before you sign up, you know we're going to talk about it. What had transpired is not even ready yet. And then some people put their link out. So when it is ready, now your commissions and stuff is going to them. What if the person on your team, I look past you, they called me instead of you to get a link? Would that be wrong? Would you feel a certain way? So if the company is talking about, hey, everybody sign up, pause. We're a community. We're gonna put stuff in order so everybody gets paid, man. If I wanted to just make more money than everybody, I would have did some stuff a long time ago. Not about that. Proper protocol. That's the first thing I want to talk about. Go in our WhatsApp chat and understand and listen to or read what I'm talking about. When anytime they come out with something, in the book, you can read the book. Most of the books that we've already read. But if they're talking about, I'm going to read it because that's what I see it talk about. But the next level is, what are you getting from it? Talk about that in the chat. When you do it, IQ Access, talk about it in the chat or talk about it on the Facebook page because we're getting ready to make a transition. Another note what Bunker says, I'm not going to be before you know. We're going to have Boone University and we're going to have travel. Now, we won't have travel. We might have travel, but we're going to have educational. So we're going to start out with especially the trading and the IQ. So if you do an IQ, we're going to start having you put that on Boone University so we can start separating the platform because people going crazy on the notifications in the middle of the night. There's different times that people are doing it, so you got to understand that. And the chat is personalized, so people are in there. We're not going to phase out because it's high touch. The Facebook page is high tech. Please, now I'm going to say please. I don't know who made that song. Please, please. I ain't doing that. So when it comes to these groups, every person on here, men and women, if you're not getting a link to put a woman in, they have to answer the question. This is the reason why they have to answer the question. We don't want nobody coming here to bastardize our community and coming here talking about another opportunity. Not because we're weak and because I remember Matt, what was that dude name, man? The white dude do the real estate. I forgot his name. We used to wear his wristbands. He's not that important to me no more, but he did say something that's significant. If your person goes to somebody else, don't blame the other person. Your culture wasn't, he didn't say culture, your business wasn't strong enough to keep him. So I'm never mad when that happens. But if I'm giving you information and you bypass it, that's another part of the principle. So when we put stuff in the chat, I can see if we don't have stuff in the chat, we don't have stuff on our Facebook page, and we don't have sessions like that for you to say, hey, they put something in the Discord, I'm just joining. You just disrupted the community. And you have that choice. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be in here. This is not like a dictatorship. But don't get mad if somebody on your team don't take your link now. Isn't that fair? Don't get mad because They're in the chat more than you. They're plugging in more than you, and they don't see you making evidence. They don't see you edifying people. If you're not edifying what you say you believe in, why are you looking for edification? Why are you looking for participation? How many people I want you to look at this. Have you ever had a team of 10? Have you ever had a team of 25, 50, 100, 1,000 people that you had to get a system together to meet everybody's personality, to keep people engaged? If you haven't, that's why you should just do what I ask. If you say you trust me, I won't lead you astray. I'm not just about money, but it is necessary for us all to have. I'm not going to keep throwing at you. If you're not reading the books, why should you expect somebody else to? What do you want from people that you're not willing to do for yourself? Take some responsibility for your living legacy. And when people see you can, okay, watch this. I'm gonna do it in the football now to see how many people can catch on to this. It's different levels of leadership. And I was asked a question, how do you define leadership? It's how many people trust your judgment. It's how many people trust you to allow to be led. You don't do it like Mr. Haynes talked about with the Lord of lead just because you got a position. A position of leader is one of the worst leaders to be because you get entitled because you've been there first or you've been there. It doesn't matter. It's what you build with that person. Are you willing to call people more than you in the beginning until they see the value? And if they're not willing to do it, that's when you let go. But because I've endured more than most, makes me a leader because of my experience, not because I'm better. I've endured more pain than you in this industry. I've experienced more in this industry. That doesn't make me better. I've just endured more. I have more experience on top of the talent that I know I was born to lead people now. I was born for this. I'm very confident about it. I have no doubt about it. With my spirit right now, I know when people are hurting. I know when people make excuses from a whisper, because I'm listening to the creator more than your excuses. Ooh, write that down, baby. When you're a leader, you listen to the creator's whisper more than people's excuses because you already know what they get ready to say. You can't, like he said, I agree with Mr. Edwin Haynes. If you can't come up with a 3-figure and pay 3 figures for opportunity, why do you expect thousands and 10,000 and $1 million? You don't even expect that from your job, but you expect it. So now this becomes a pyramid scheme, so it's validated what people said about it, because you are afraid to invest 3 figures, but you want 7. Oh, that really makes sense. Oh my God. I can't show up for 3, but I want 7. This is not Cartoon Network. This is not fantasy time. This is real life. Show up. Show up. So other people will too. You heard the principle of that movie, The Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. If you work it, they will work it. If you invest, they will too. If you show them value, they'll pay their overhead. If you give them a game plan and you collaborate with people, you will get more abundance in the world because you're sowing seeds into people who come from a community that nobody else showed them the truth. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for getting on here, man. My heart is filled. Once again, every time I see people on here, my heart is filled. For all the people that jumped off early, blessings to them. Hopefully they got enough words so they can take action. I just want you to take action, collaborate with people. You don't have to collaborate with me. I'm not accepting a lot of phone calls right now because I may be too hard on some people, or you think I am because I tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you about yourself. If you was on New Year's Eve, I gave you the choice to open up your mic, and people chose it. I ain't forcing myself on nobody. You shouldn't either. That's sales. You don't have to recruit nobody. You're not the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, or the Marines. What you recruit? Who you recruiting? My father was in the Army and the freaking Air Force. He got recruited. But he didn't die a rich man. Anyway, hey man, thank you for jumping on here, man. You can jump off anytime you want. I might throw another song because I'm getting used to everybody that contributed to me having a new apparatus. And because I'm smooth, I'm gonna play this song, oldie but goodie, but it's not old enough for some people, but you gotta be smooth.